Okay, I thought I would do another video using gradients, and in this case, instead of adjusting brightness, contrast, and making edges darker or skies darker, that sort of thing, I'm going to do this to make some sort of funky colors. And I'm going to start with this base image of some castle ruins I shot in Germany, shooting up an old tower. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making this black and white. There isn't a whole lot of color in the first place, but I'm just going to go ahead and make it a black and white. So I'm going to make an adjustment layer in black and white, and I can go in here and fine tune it and get it exactly the way I want, but for the purposes of this video I'm just going to go with a regular black and white. And then I'm going to do 3 other adjustment layers using hue saturation. So select hue saturation, and I'm going to make this one a red. So let's make sure to select colorize, and I'm going to turn up that saturation, especially for the purposes of the video. I'm going to crank this up just so you can see the results a little more clearly. And I got a nice red in here, and I'll go ahead and I'll name this channel red. And I want to make sure I have this mask selected, and I want to invert this, make it black or opaque, so none of this red will show up for right now. So I can go up here to Image, Adjustment, and Invert. And you can see I also have the option of using Control I, and that will do the same thing as doing all this. So I'm going to do that, and I'll make a new adjustment layer, hue saturation, colorize, and in this case I'm going to go blue, crank that saturation up, and I'm going to call this one, whoops, just by double clicking here, name this one blue, and select that, and I'll go ahead and use the shortcut this time and use Control I. Now that's blocked out, we go back to the original image. I'm going to do a 3rd layer, hue saturation, colorize, and I'm going to go with a green, I think, on this case. And there again, Control I opaques that out. Now by using gradients, I have the gradient selected. You also have paint bucket tool, but you want your gradient tool selected. So if you don't see your gradient there, it might be because the paint bucket tool is there. And there you would have your gradient. So you can switch back and forth. And I'll show you how to do it. I want to use a white to transparent, and what this will do is it'll allow white to go across the black background and fade to kind of a gray. So if I were to do this, I'll go ahead and just make a standard layer here to kind of show you. I'll invert that layer so it's whoops, the layer is empty. We'll go ahead and what I'll do is use that paint bucket tool, and I'll make a nice black there and fill in black. So that's what your layer or your mask would look like. And if I use the gradient tool and I take the white to transparent, you can see what it does to the mask. You start with a light in there. Let me take that up to 100%. You also have opacity control up here, and this, for the purposes of this video, I want to have it at 100%. You can use different levels if you want. And you can see what it does. It goes from white and kind of fades into the black. And this allows you to put several spots on there. So that's basically what that does. So I'll go ahead and delete this layer, and we'll go back to that. And you want to make sure you have the mask highlighted. You can see Not just the blue part, but there's like a little white box that goes around it. So you want to make sure you have that highlighted. And I'll show you real quick how to make a white transparent mask. I double clicked on that transparency up there. And this allows me to come in here and adjust some presets. You can choose different ones if you want, but I'll just show you how to make one here. And you can see here it's already basically made, but I'll show you how it works. So what we have here, the black will let all that color come through, and white is transparent on this top control. So if we make both these, you can see here it has the opacity. I'm going to make both these opaque, the opacity at 100%. So now I have white bleeding off to white, which just leaves white. But if I take this and select it, you can see here my color has come up, and I'm going to make this black. So now you have white to black, and this shows you what the gradient tool is doing. It is basically going from white to black evenly across here. Now you can take this little diamond in the middle and you can slide it back and forth and make the center point different. And you can also add different colors and so forth, but that's a whole other issue. And for the purposes of this, I want it to be white to white. So I'm going to select that again, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to make that white. And now we have a solid white bar, which is not what I want. So I select the top transparent one here on this side, and I'm going to make that 0. So now we are going from white to transparent. Okay, and that's what I have selected there. I'll go ahead and select the red mask and go across and put some red in there. And I'll do the same thing with the blue. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this back a little bit. And one of the reasons I do that is because I want to make this the center point of this gradient off the image, so it'll bleed into the photograph. And you can see here it's just caused a nice edge right there. And these colors will blend together, so you'll get some blending going across here if you put one color over the other. And just put some different color through here, and then I'll select the green layer and do the same sort of thing. And if you want to let it bleed into other colors, that's fine, and give you some different color options. And that's basically how that would work. And the nice feature with this too is if I don't like that shade of green, I can adjust it a little bit or a lot and change it to a whole nother color. I think I'll just go ahead and leave it green, but main thing you may not like is the saturation. You can turn that up and down and get some very subtle tones or very, very stark color. And I'll take that down to about a medium. But that basically shows you what you can do with this. And put some different colors. And there again, as you do this, you can blend certain colors together. So I get a little bit of a blue and a green over the top. Blue going over the green and the green going over the blue. And you'll have that over the top. And if you decide you wanted to sort of preview it with just one of those or two of those, you can just turn off the little eyes here, and it'll show you just the green, just the blue. Turn the blue off, turn the red on, that shows you just the red that I did. And that's basically how that works. I would usually spend a little more time getting things just the way I want them, but just for the purposes of this video, you can kind of see how it's being done. Thank you.